Just want to do this quick video now. Got these all set up, and I forgot to mention that the Bad Batch group, uh, this group here of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, I think it was $26 or $27, right around there, which is pretty decent considering what you get there. Let me zoom up a little bit, and I have them all with their, if they have a helmet, it's off, and I just have this one from the V19 torrent set, the obi-wan with the clone armor, and just to compare to that guy back there. So let's just get these out of the way first. The Super Battle Droids Christmas edition, I guess, with the shiny red and green. That's cool. I mean, it's just a bonus for the season, so I don't mind getting them for free. They came with a couple set of arms. You got one with the large cannon on one arm, and I guess regular arms for the other side, or you can do both. So I have both set up, and yeah, that did only is supposed to hold one figure, but they gave you two, so they're missing one. Just put them like this. Chances are these will probably just go into storage because I don't really plan to display these. Not likely, but I'm glad I have them. I don't mind. And so here is the showing with their extra parts or accessories. Of course, this is the from the anime series, the Obi-Wan Kenobi with the clone armor, or as a clone commander or general, what do you call it? All the same. Because with the Phase 1 helmet, as seen in the couple episodes where he does have that lightsaber, it's done okay. I mean, there's still a little air bubble, as I think sometimes the Lego ones do too, but whatever. It does the job, and you get the two, as I mentioned, like two capes. This is the hard plastic one with a little bit more embellishment, and it just hooks over, and it looks nice if you're just going to pose them standing. Let me see if I can do this. Let's just get these guys out of the way first. So you can see the back. Looks good actually, but we can't do much more than stand and just look good. Otherwise, I plan it when I build the speeder bike. I'm going to put him on it, so I'm probably going to take that off and just switch to the cloth cape so he can sit on it. Otherwise, he won't be able to do that with the hard cape, right? And so he does have another face in the back. I guess maybe I can quickly show it. This hairpiece is the longer one that you actually see in the show, right? He does have like the longer hair, I guess technically from roughly episode 2-ish, right? When he's training Anakin as a Padawan at his earlier years. And just to show you his other face back there, it's a little bit more calm, but I'm going to give him the angry face because he's going to be in the mode of fighting the droid army, as well as probably Dirge on the battlefield. And here's the helmet on, just like that. And most of these will come with an extra hand, just in case you mess up or something, lose it, or otherwise break it putting it on. But I didn't have too much trouble. The only thing, overall, the printing's pretty good. See if I can bring it up close. Only problem is right at the edge of the bottom of the torso, the print gets kind of lost right there. You see that faint line? Don't really see it in the back as much, but it is there too. So slight unfortunate. I don't know if they're all like that, but overall, I'm still pretty happy with it. And the way he's going to be posed, sitting on the speeder bike, I'm not really going to notice it that much anyways. So that's that. And you know, you got pretty decent arm printing as well. And yeah, I mean, I can't complain that you know, it looks like in here he is next to that one, and you can see why. Like when I thought I could just put on a brown cape and a Phase 1 clone trooper helmet, that's not going to quite sell. He might have a version that wears something like that, but I gotta admit I've never really seen it. too much, at least not off the top of my head. Although I think there's a black series that makes him look like that in a way without the helmet. He does have like a brown cape, and but they don't give him a helmet. So I don't know. And does have the lighter garment on underneath like this. And this has the Republic or the Jedi logo here. Doesn't have that there, but they never really had it on the show. So that's that. Put that aside. Next is Phase 1 Captain Rex. And overall, he just has, I believe, one face. Yeah. And he comes with these. Another blaster, kind of like the ones that you might see like the stormtroopers use, or maybe some of the other clone troopers. They come more standard rifle, but you always see them with double pistols for the most part. And he does come with a bunch of accessories. Again, his helmet, we'll put that on later. Like a front kind of visor thing. This is an extra pauldron, like a hard plastic one. And what is this? Must be from one of the capes or something. That's nothing there, that brown thing. An extra hand. I do think that, just looking at what I've seen, how he looks like in the show, the pauldron actually comes up more, like it fans across the chest, across through the shoulders. It doesn't really droop like this. This is kind of how they did it on the Phase 2 Captain Rex. It came with the Venator, and as well as the later on the much less expensive micro fighter Y-wing bomber. It's okay. He does come with a wastegate, which is good. I like that. But he does have this, which I would prefer. I think this is closer to like the new style that you, I think. Actually, you know what? I don't think this is the same one as the Star Troopers that came with with Captain Bly and the Separatist MTT, the newest one that's like $160, along with that not so great turbo tank. But yeah, that's a different piece. It's not as doesn't cover the front as much. It's just more of a piece that kind of goes across the shoulders, and then mostly showing off a little something off the shoulder, one shoulder. It doesn't have this piece that sweeps around like this, I think. So I think this is actually a little bit more accurate. But oddly, they did so much of it pretty nicely. They didn't bother to paint this piece here. It should be like something blue on this side. So what I plan to do is probably custom paint it myself. Just find some the best matching blue I can. Something bright, just whatever is closest to what's on there. That looks right, or close to like the helmet armor color. I'll find something and just paint it on myself, and then stick it on there. Or I don't think I'm going to go that far, but because it's such a small piece, the other alternative is to use maybe like a adhesive vinyl that's blue, that's close to that color, that I can stick on. That could work as well, but I'm thinking probably the best thing is just to hand paint the pieces right here. You just need it on this shoulder, across the top, and another piece on the back side, and that should look about right. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. And until then, I think you might have seen Rex with some other accessories on the helmet, but for the most part, he just has that it's just like a targeting device, right? That we mostly see him with. So that's how he looks like. Looks good overall, but I do think it will look that much more complete with this when it's painted. So yeah, definitely some of these might need some work. Ahsoka came with this Bad Batch set. What can I say? This Ahsoka looks good. I have to say that she does come with the curved lightsaber hilts, right? which is basically what she kind of has, right? At least what I can recall from the show. I would say when you put this on the headpiece, make sure you put it on straight. I went off slightly off center before, and I don't know if, hold on a second, let's see. I guess that's about right. It was a little bit more off-center before, and it gets pretty tight in there. So you'd have to remove the head. When you remove the headpiece, the head comes with it, and you can imagine that's usually difficult to remove and negotiate without like a set of pliers, which I did, and I recentered it better. And so that's just something to note. Yeah, otherwise, pretty good. I'm not sure which version of this is her. Like, I don't remember seeing this particular colorway on her outfit that she's worn, and I was trying to look it up, but I'm assuming it's from somewhere in the Clone Wars, or maybe if she does show up in the Bad Batch, which I honestly can't remember at this point. It's been a while. Maybe it's an outfit she wore on the show. Otherwise, I guess why would they have included her with this set? It seemed a little odd. They could have included maybe something else, but I took her as a set. It seemed, because I just wanted to make sure I get all these in the same Clone Force 99 original armor. That's a grayish color, and for the most part, Tech is the only one that didn't quite have that dark color. You always had something slightly lighter. Anyways, going to Mega, pretty much what you expect, with the short legs to make her look younger than the rest, and smaller, of course. Pretty decent printing. I can't complain. Again, all of these have nice, I think, pretty decent printing all around, and arm printing as well as that. And even the legs usually do a pretty good job. But I'd say I'm not sure about the hair piece. It's a bit more spoofed up, than I think I remember it being. But it was a little bit, but not. This feels a lot more, but I guess it's okay. But the only thing I don't like, I just noticed, was it's a bit of a seam line right around at least the front of the hairline. Well, it kind of goes around, like you can see it right there. Kind of actually part of the top half, right? Not so much visible as noticeable towards the back, because there's a lot going on back there. But right here was a bit more, slick that back or up. You can definitely see that seam line. From a distance, it doesn't really matter. You won't really see it, but I don't know. If I do try to clean it up with like a little bit of careful sandpaper or filing to just reduce that seam, and then maybe buff it out to just give it make sure it doesn't get too, matted or sanded, that sanded look that doesn't match the rest of the hair. I might need to polish it out slightly so it just gets back that sheen to make it look more consistent and not such an obvious, like something's been worked on the hair. I'll see. It's not that important to me, but again, from most distances, you're not going to really see it, and it's not really the main focus of the group anyways for me, but I'm just glad to include her because she is part of this family, I guess you could say. Next we have Tech, whoops, right there. And yeah, he looks good. He's got the glasses. I think it generally looks better. Let me move him forward than he does from the original Lego, the one with the Marauder, and just the helmet generally, it's just better. Like, yes, it just works. You got that look. And I like how all these you'll see that they have quite a full bit of accessories, like the way they're geared up. Like they all have some sort of belt piece that goes around. And then they also have the extra armor to just kind of beef them up a little bit, make them more armor, which is pretty noticeable in the show. Probably not as heavily as maybe Wrecker should, generally appears good, maybe because he's as big. But they do have that, and they're all individually painted. There's not one deco that's like repeated, so that's good. So they really do individualize them, which is important because they are like that. And here's the helmet. and it looks pretty good for what it is. Has all the details, and you know, you put it on like this. See, sorry, I'm trying to focus with one hand, and so that's how it looks like. And you know, you'll have the, I guess this visor piece, whatever you want to call it, in front, and then it can also, what's cool is that it can flip up, which like that. So I'm going to show that again, like that. And then it just flips up, which you see sometimes, and you can see his eyeglasses behind there, which you do see in the show. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't recall you having this functionality in the Lego version as well. And he generally has two handguns, right? The pistol blasters, and of course they all have an extra handset right there. Put that over there. And I forgot to mention that Omega came, of course, with extra hand, but a blaster, which I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen her use. Later on, when she does get a weapon, it's that, I don't know if it's a specific name, but I think it's been generally called a power bow, and that's probably what I'll outfit her with. There's been some decent, you know, custom made versions out of some Lego pieces that you can do to simulate that, and they look pretty decent. There's one that looks pretty good, which I'm gonna probably try, and I think that'd be a better weapon than that. And I could reuse this weapon for one of these other people here, the members, because I don't think they really have the right weapons for them, at least as far as I can remember. Yeah. What am I going to say? Oh, going on to Wrecker. Looks good. Got the full armor piece as well. I think they generally have the same style backpack, but they're just maybe slightly different printing on them, just to help differentiate them. And again, generally the helmets are actually the same style, but they did a, I think it's a good, if you want to call it a generic or mold for the group, and just the way they printed and decorated it helps define them and make them kind of their own, and it makes it different enough, you know, even though that you really look closely, they're exactly the same helmet, and in the show they actually are more different than just a paint job, but I think for this purpose they sell pretty well, I think, so I'm happy with that. Now, Wrecker comes with two weapons, his helmet, of course, extra hand. I've never really seen him use this, at least maybe it looks slightly different in the show if he does. I've seen him more use like this kind of heavy blaster style. You can kind of see it. And so I just outfitted him with that. I'm not going to give him two. But his helmet looks pretty good. So we'll put that on. And this is how his face looks like. You can see, you know, one of his eyes are kind of dead or discolored, right? And he's pretty kind of scarred too, and they did a pretty good job of capturing that look. And so there's that, and then just put on the helmet for him there. And oops, sorry, I always get out of focus because I'm trying to do two things. And he looks good like that. Moving on to I don't know why I called him, I mistakenly called him Fives. That's some other character. It's Echo. I don't know how I forgot that, but yeah. So just trying to correct myself from before. So he looks pretty good. You know, he's got that one mechanical arm, that little nubby thing, which I guess he can use to patch into, you know, those terminals and do his thing. He's got the printing. You know, he's kind of pale, which he usually is after he's been messed with, right, by the separatists. I think through experiments, but you know, that's just the way he is now. But he's got all these like little kind of I don't know what you call these inputs that are still around his head that when it was plugged in, and he's got armor, his belt. What I think he could have done instead of the belt is maybe, you can see the look, there is like a kind of a waist cape thing going printed, but obviously it's only the front. So I think it could have benefited with a waist cape, kind of like Captain Rex here, but with the red trim. on him instead of this. I mean, you could maybe fit one in between the belt and the legs, but I think that might start to cause the other upper half to be more compromised, because it's just a little bit less going into the torso, right? Those two kind of pegs or whatever you want to call them that usually extend up from the legs, right, to hold the torso on. You already got this belt, and then you add one more layer, even though it's a thin fabric, and it might be enough to just make this guy easier to separate more. So I might have lost the belt and maybe printed that on the torso instead, and then give him an actual waist cape. I think that's a more noteworthy feature that people would appreciate to see, instead of just the front facade on the legs, and you don't really see the waist cape effect going all the way around the legs. Other than that, he looks pretty good, and his helmet looks fairly good, and I think pretty accurate to how you see him in the show. So I'm going to put that on. The only thing I would say is, sorry, I turn my focus here, is the weapon that they gave him. I don't recall him using a larger, like, rifle kind of weapon in the show. I usually, because he's only basically one-handed, I think he wants to keep that hand available for a lighter weapon. I usually see him with a pistol, a blaster. So I probably would maybe reuse that for him and just bag the rifle. And similarly, here's Hunter now, and he looks pretty good print overall. Two things I would note, and I just noticed that now I gotta check to see if he ever supposedly came with it, but I just probably not, and maybe I can find a suitable, basically the hairpiece, right? If he's gonna have this off, he should have a hairpiece, right, when he's off, helmet's off. So that's what he's missing. He's not bald, but at least they did print on the headband, which I think in the Lego version they omitted that, and he just has hair, and just because of that, it doesn't look quite right. They don't have that headband. We just kind of trademarked for him when he got his helmet off. The helmet looks pretty good, as you can see, but that's basically one thing I might need to, although I'll probably will likely just keep the helmet on him anyways. I think it would be good to just have that, complete the accessories for him by having the right hairpiece, and that's the thing I need to figure out, like what would work for him to complete his look. Something black and, you know, kind of long. You know, to tell you the truth, maybe in some ways this might work. I forget who else. I think someone else has done a mod to get him better hair, but anyways, I gotta figure that one out. And his armor looks pretty good, and he's usually, you know, he is kind of known to be using a knife. You know, he has it on his arm, as does Crosshair here, but then of course he's known for his sniper rifle. So I gave him the knife in one hand, which he's been known to kind of wield. Although this is the other thing too, this rifle they gave him with, they gave him, doesn't seem quite right either. One, if he's holding the knife, he probably won't be using that, and I've rarely seen him use a much larger rifle. Maybe he might use something short, like actually what Echo is holding, or maybe what Wrecker has back there. But otherwise, if he's going around like this, he's usually kind of lighter, and he would probably hold another hand. If he was double wielding weapons, he'd probably have a blaster like this in hand. So I might need to find a second blaster like that. I think I have an extra one somewhere at home from another set. I can't remember where. Maybe the other, I don't know if the other Captain Rex that I have would have it. And to be honest, actually, now that I think about it, I think that these pistols aren't correct either. His should look like this style right here. This is more the Clone Wars style. This, I don't know what I'll consider these blasters, but they're not the usual style. These are actually closer to the ones he usually uses, so I might need a source. Okay, one pair for him because he usually double wields, and another one for him, and then I can use this one from Omega for Echo here. Other than that, let's put this helmet on. He looks pretty good. Looks about right for what he is. Just need to fix, get the hair, even though I might not use it, but just to have, and replace the weapon. There is Crosshair lastly, and he looks pretty good. He doesn't have any hair. Well, he does, but it's very short. I don't know if there's any way to give him short gray hair, which is what he's been known to have, although I think sometimes he's been pretty much shaved pretty close to, if he doesn't really have much hair, or even shorter than what he kind of normally does. Overall, looks good. Armor, all that. And I think he has basically a pretty appropriate sniper rifle. I think the rifle stock is a little bit different style than what he might actually use, but overall it's close enough. He does come with a knife here, a big old knife, which he's actually been known to have kind of off of his shoulder pads as well, if I'm not mistaken. But you don't really see him use it that much. So it's mainly he's a sniper, so he's going to have a sniper rifle. I would say as cool as it looks, fortunately the armor piece will keep, because the length of this keeps it from, being able to aim it more forward or directly off. It's got to kind of go off the side here. There's not really any ways around that, unfortunately. So, but I mean, like as it is like this, it kind of, as opposed and just standing there, it works fine. But I just letting you know, like if you're to play with him, he probably wouldn't be able to wield this in a very good way. At least it will have to be really cocked to the side in that way. And even then, it's not gonna. I think it's gonna still kind of hold kind of awkwardly, but it is what it is. I just got it mainly for just to look good with SS group here, just to have a Bad Batch Lego group. And I just put this on his head all the way down. Okay, and there you go. And so I know I took the most time on these, but these are more straightforward. These have a bit more to them, and I think maybe again some of these need just a little bit of reworking to make them look the part better, as I mentioned. So that's basically it. I think for the price, right, 5-ish. I think this is 6 or 7 at most. Right, just a little over $10, $11 more or less. This group is around 26, 27. I think I paid, and maybe I might even have a slight discount, but about $35-ish, just somewhere under 40, I think. With shipping, but yeah, they ship pretty fast. And excuse me, just recovering from a cold. They ship pretty fast too. These didn't take too long. I think got out and within my in hand, basically within about a week, or just under, if I recall correctly. Yeah. So let's see. I ordered it last Sunday, and today is Friday. But I think I got these about 2 days ago, so maybe on a Wednesday, I think. So they came in pretty fast, actually. So yeah, just judging by the general quality and considering the price, I think these are worth it. If you think so, chime in. Do you have any experience with this brand or something similar? Find something even better? Let me know. But I think I just can't complain with everything that it comes with. It's pretty good. All right, thanks.